Hey guys, I'm so sorry I'm not there today. I am staying home and seeing if I can beat this cough. Anyway, so I hope that you have already, before watching this, gone to the websites that I listed on Canvas and tried to fill out as much of this as you could. And then after you have all this filled out, I want you to work on the two worksheets, and then you'll hand in the first one for sure, the one that has you like practice making box plot and stuff, and then take home that second worksheet for homework. Okay, so let's talk about the mean. The mean. Anybody know what the mean is? I can't hear you, but if you were saying the average, then you're exactly right. And how do you find the average? You find by adding up all the numbers, then dividing by the number of numbers. So it's the average, and you do that by adding up all the numbers and dividing then dividing by the number of numbers. And if I'm writing too fast, like just pause this so you can write it in. So let's look at this set of numbers over here on the side. To find the average, I'm literally going to just do 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 12 plus 14 plus 15, and divide all that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 numbers altogether. So when I add up all those numbers, I get 97. And 97 divided by 12 is about, I'm going to use squiggly equal signs because I'm approximating, it's about 8.08. So that's my mean. Okay, so the median is the middle number when all the numbers have been ordered from least to greatest. So you have to put them in order of smallest to biggest, least to greatest. If there are two numbers in the middle, then you need to find the mean of those two numbers. So looking at our set of numbers right here, I got 2 and 15, so I'm just going to count my way down to the middle. 3 and 14, 3 and 12, 4 and 10, 6 and 10. Ooh, these numbers are in the middle. There are two of them, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 8 plus 10 together and divide by 2 to find the mean. So that's 18 divided by 2, which is 9. So that's our median, is 9. The mode is the number that repeats the most. There is one mode if there is one number most often, and this is called unimodal. Uni meaning one, like a unicycle. Two modes, if there's if there's a tie. Let's say if there's a tie. If there is a tie, and just like a unimodal is like after a unicycle, 2 is bimodal, like a bicycle. And there's no mode if all the numbers show up the same number of times. Okay, so I'm back over here looking at our list of numbers. So it's not 2, there's only 1 2. There's 2 3s, so that has a lot. Ooh, there's 3 10s. So the winner is going to be 10s. There are 3 10s. So our mode here will be 10 because there are 3 of them, which is more than any other number. And again, guys, the last thing down here is measures of central tendency. And the measures of central tendency are just those last 3 things that we talk about: the mean, median, and mode. So whenever I ask for the measures of central tendency, that's what I'm asking for. Okay, let's keep moving on. Okay, guys, next up we have the range, and the range is just the spread of the data. So to calculate, you just take the largest number or the greatest number, and you subtract the smallest number, or the least number. So looking again over here at our set of numbers for our example, the greatest is 15. The least number is 2. So my range is going to be 15 take away 2, which is 13. So that's going to be the range. Okay, and finally we are on to our box and whisker plot. So the box and whisker plot is data displaying what's called the 5-number summary. So there are 5 numbers that tell us a lot about the data. You probably know this. What's the minimum? That's the smallest number, right? And then the maximum, we know that that's the biggest number, right? So we already have those two set. Now, the 3 little Q's here in the middle, Q1, that stands for the first quartile. That's right. It's a fancy word. Q2 is, that's right, the second quartile. And Q3 is the third quartile. Well, let me tell you what those mean. The second quartile is the easiest. That's just the exact middle, which is the median. Remember, so when we line up the numbers from smallest to biggest, that's the exact middle, the median. The first quartile is the median of the first half. So we're splitting our data into the first half and second half. The first quartile is the middle, the exact middle of the first half. So it's basically like a quarter through. That's why it's called a quartile. So it's a quarter through the data. The third quartile is the median of the second half. So let's go look at our data again up here. Earlier we found out that the median happened right here between 8 and 10, right? That was our median. So it was right between those, and we found the average of those, or the mean of those. So I'm going to draw a little line. Boop, 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 boop. That was our median. So this is the second quartile, and that was equal to 9. So we have divided the data in half. So this is the first half. This is the second half, because this is the exact middle, right? So we need to find the exact middle of this. So let me get a different color here. So if I find the exact middle, so I have 2 and 8, I have 3 and 6. Ooh, so the exact middle is going to be exactly between 3 and 4. So I need to find the middle between 3 and 4, the mean, and I find out that that's 3.5. So that's quartile 1, or the first quartile. When I go up to the second half, 10, 15, 10, so it's between 10 and 12. So I need to find the mean of 10 and 12. And when I do that, I found out that that is 11. So that is the third quartile. And then 15 is the maximum, and 2 is the minimum. So y'all, that's my 5-number summary. 2, 3.5, 9, 11, and 15. Those are the 5 numbers that tell me a lot about this set of data. So now we're going to use this set of data to make a box and whisker plot. So the first thing for a box and whisker plot that you need is a number line that looks just like this guy down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take let's start with the median, and I'm going to put the median, that's 9, so that goes right there. So that is the median. Whoop. Then I'm going to take the first quartile, which is at 3.5. So 3.5 is going to be right between 3 and 4 right there. So I'm going to draw a little line between 3 and 4 right there. So that is the first quartile. Then let's do the third quartile. So that's at 11. So that's going to be right there. So I'm going to draw a line right there. Boop, boop, boop. Then let's do our minimum and our maximum. So our minimum is at 2, so that's going to be right there, and our maximum is at 15, so that's going to be up there. So I'm going to draw one more line here, and then 15 is one more line there. Okay, so box and whiskers. What we're doing is we're going to draw a box with the first quartile through the third quartile. So first quartile, median, and third quartile, that makes a box. So let's draw that real quick. Boop, 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 boop. Just like that. And then the whisker part is those are the whiskers going off to hit the minimum and the maximum. Guys, boom. Oh, I forgot to draw arrows here. That's that. That's that. That is is that. So hopefully you can use that to make a box and whisker plot. That's what your first worksheet is on. Okay. Y'all, I think what I'm going to do is just have you look at the completed notes for the backside if you haven't finished completing those yet. And then get started on that first worksheet, which is using box and whisker plots. And then when you finish that, see if you can calculate outliers. And if you can't figure out how to calculate outliers, go visit Khan Academy and search in outliers, and it'll tell you, it'll tell you how to calculate those. Then when I get back on Monday, we'll spend some time talking about calculating outliers, as well as making frequency tables and histograms. Okay, y'all, be nice to the sub. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely weekend. I will see you on Monday. If you have any troubles, please email me. And that's all I got. Rock and roll.